Have you ever felt like you're busy all the time, but going nowhere? Maybe you wake up every day, work hard, stay occupied, but when you look back at the year, you can't point to anything meaningful you've accomplished. Maybe you see others moving forward, achieving milestones, while you feel stuck in the same place year after year. Or maybe you have dreams, vague wishes for a better life, but they never become real because they're just floating in your mind, never written down, never planned. If you've felt like a ship drifting at sea with no destination, then this story is for you. Because once there was a man who lived this way for years, until one conversation gave him the compass that changed everything. Stay with me until the end. In a bustling city where everyone seemed to know where they were going, there lived a 32-year-old man named Daniel. Daniel worked as a barista in a busy coffee shop downtown, the same job he'd had since he was 24. Daniel was a hard worker. He showed up on time, served customers with a smile, went home tired every night. To anyone watching, he looked productive, busy, responsible. But inside, Daniel felt empty. Every morning when his alarm rang, he would stare at the ceiling and think, "Is this it? Is this my life?" He wasn't unhappy with his job, but he also wasn't happy. He existed in a gray zone, not failing but not succeeding either, just existing. Daniel's younger brother, Alex, had just opened his second restaurant at age 28. His college friend Sarah had become a published author. His neighbor Tom had climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and started a non-profit. When people asked Daniel, "What are your goals?" he would give vague answers. "I want to be successful. I want to travel someday. I want to do something meaningful." But these weren't goals. They were wishes, clouds without form. Daniel had no written goals, no clear direction, no specific destination. He was like a ship with working sails and a strong engine, but no compass, no map, no port to reach. So the ship just drifted. One day became 1 week. 1 week became 1 month. 1 month became 8 years, and nothing changed. Daniel didn't realize that a life without goals isn't a peaceful life. It's an anxious life. Because deep down, when you have no direction, every day feels the same. And when every day feels the same, you start to wonder, am I wasting my time on Earth? That question haunted Daniel every single night. One Friday evening, Daniel attended his 10-year high school reunion. The banquet hall was filled with former classmates, all dressed well, sharing stories of their achievements. Daniel stood in the corner, holding a glass of water, listening. "I'd just made partner at the law firm. We launched our startup, already at $2 million in revenue. I finished my PhD, and I'm teaching at the university now." Everyone had something to share. Some milestone, some direction, some proof that the last 10 years mattered. Then someone turned to Daniel and asked the question he had been dreading. "So Daniel, what have you been up to? What are you working toward?" Daniel opened his mouth, but no words came out. Because the truth was, he had nothing to say. He mumbled something about still figuring things out and excused himself to the restroom. Daniel stood in front of the mirror, staring at his own reflection. He was 32 years old, but looking back at the last 10 years, he couldn't name a single significant goal he had set and achieved. Not one. The person in the mirror looked tired, lost, older than he should be. Daniel whispered to his reflection, "Who am I? What am I doing with my life?" And for the first time, he had no answer. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. At 2 a.m., he sat at his kitchen table with a blank notebook in front of him, trying to write down his goals. But after an hour of staring at the empty page, he had written only 3 vague sentences. Get a better job. Save money. Be happy. He looked at the words and realized these weren't goals. These were just hopes, and hopes without plans are just dreams that die slowly. Daniel closed the notebook and whispered into the darkness, I need help. I don't even know how to set a goal. The next morning, Daniel did something he had never done before. He reached out for help. He remembered his former high school teacher, Mr. Harrison, who had mentored many successful people. Daniel sent him a message. I feel lost. Can we talk? Mr. Harrison replied immediately. Come to my office Monday at 9 a.m. When Daniel arrived, Mr. Harrison's office was unlike anything he expected. The walls were covered with framed certificates, photos of students who had achieved great things, and a large world map with dozens of pins marking different locations. On the desk sat an antique brass compass. Mr. Harrison looked at Daniel with kind but penetrating eyes and said, You look like a man who has been sailing in circles. Daniel nodded, surprised by how accurate that felt. Mr. Harrison picked up the brass compass and placed it in Daniel's hands. Tell me, Daniel, if I gave you a ship, a beautiful ship with strong sails, enough food for a year, and asked you to sail somewhere, but I didn't give you a compass or a map or a destination, where would you end up? Daniel thought for a moment. I'd probably just drift. Maybe end up wherever the current took me. Exactly, Mr. Harrison said, and that's what you've been doing with your life. He stood up and walked to the world map. Every pin on this map represents a goal I have set and achieved, a specific place they decided to reach. Not someday I'll travel, not maybe I'll visit Europe, but on June 15th, I will stand at the Eiffel Tower. He turned back to Daniel. Goals are not wishes. Goals are destinations with dates, and without them, you're not navigating your life. You're just reacting to whatever happens. Mr. Harrison pulled out a clean sheet of paper and drew 3 circles. There are 3 types of goals every person needs. First, the 1-year goal, something specific you will achieve in 12 months, not get healthier, but run a 10-kilometer race on October 12th. Not save money, but save $5,000 by December 31st. Second, the 5-year vision. Where do you want to be in 5 years? What job? What skill mastered? What life built? Be specific. Third, the 20-year legacy. When you're old and looking back, what do you want to have created? What do you want to be remembered for? Mr. Harrison slid the paper across the desk. Daniel, I want you to leave this office today with 3 goals written on this paper, 1 for each circle, and I want you to make them SMART goals. SMART? Yes, it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, not be successful, but launch my own coffee roasting business by January 2026. Not travel, but visit Japan for 2 weeks in April and learn basic Japanese first. Not be happy, but build 3 deep friendships this year by joining a weekly community group. Mr. Harrison leaned forward. Here's what most people don't understand. Goals don't limit you. Goals free you, because when you know where you're going, you stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You stop drifting. You start navigating. He pointed to the compass still in Daniel's hands. That compass is yours now, but it only works if you decide on a destination first. Daniel sat in that office for 2 hours, writing and rewriting his goals until they were clear, specific, and real. His 1-year goal: save $10,000 and complete a barista certification course by December 31st to prepare for opening my own coffee shop. His 5-year vision: own a small specialty coffee roasting business with 2 locations, employing 10 people. His 20-year legacy: be known as the person who brought quality coffee culture to my hometown and mentored young entrepreneurs. For the first time in years, Daniel felt something shift inside him. These weren't dreams, these were destinations. The next morning, Daniel woke up different. Instead of staring at the ceiling, he looked at the goals taped to his wall and asked, "What's one thing I can do today to move closer?" He opened a savings account specifically for his business fund. He researched barista certification programs. He read 1 chapter of a book on small business management. Small steps, but now they were steps toward somewhere. Week by week, the changes became visible. Daniel started waking up at 5:30 a.m. to work on his goals before his shift. He stopped scrolling social media mindlessly because he had something better to do. He reached out to 3 local coffee shop owners and asked if he could learn from them. 1 said yes. 2 months in, Daniel faced his first real test. His old college friends invited him on an expensive weekend trip. The old Daniel would have said yes immediately, even though he couldn't afford it. But the new Daniel looked at his goal: $10,000 saved by December 31st. He did the math. The trip would cost $800, almost a month of savings. He made a choice he had never made before. I can't come this time. I'm saving for my business. His friends laughed. You're always talking about someday, live a little. But Daniel didn't argue. He just smiled and said, this time, someday has a date. By month 3, Daniel had saved $2,400. He had completed half of his certification course. He had a notebook full of business ideas, supplier contacts, and location research. But more importantly, something inside him had fundamentally changed. He no longer felt like he was drifting. He felt like he was sailing. 6 months later, at another casual meetup, the same friend who had asked, "What are you working toward?" saw Daniel and said, "Man, you look different, more alive." Daniel smiled. "I know where I'm going now. That changes everything." My friend, Daniel's story is not just about starting a business. It's about the power of knowing where you're going. Here's the truth that changed Daniel's life and can change yours. You don't need to have everything figured out. But you need to have something figured out. One destination, one clear goal with a deadline. Remember 3 things. First, a goal without a deadline is just a wish. Someday, I'll travel will never happen. I will visit Thailand on March 15th, 2026, creates urgency and action. Second, you can't hit a target you can't see. Vague goals create vague results. Specific goals create specific plans. Specific plans create specific actions. Third, direction defeats speed. You can be the hardest worker in the world, but if you're going nowhere, you'll just get nowhere faster. Better to move slowly toward a clear destination than to run in circles. So here's my challenge to you right now, today. Take out a piece of paper. Write down one goal, just one, that you will achieve in the next 90 days. Make it specific, make it measurable. Give it a deadline, not get in shape, but go to the gym 3 times a week for 12 weeks and lose 10 pounds by April 1st. Not learn something new, but complete an online course in graphic design and create 5 practice projects by March 20th. Not improve my relationships, but have a meaningful one-on-one conversation with someone I care about every week for the next 90 days. Write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see it every single day. And then ask yourself each morning, what's one thing I can do today to move closer? Because the moment you set a real goal, a destination with a date, you stop being a drifter and become a navigator. Your life doesn't change when you wish for something different. Your life changes when you decide where you're going and start moving. If this story lit a fire under you, give this video a like and share it with someone who's been drifting too long. Drop a comment and tell me, what's your one goal for the next 90 days? Let's hold each other accountable. And don't forget to subscribe, because I'll be back with more stories to keep you moving forward. Until then, remember, the compass only works when you choose a destination first. Stop drifting, start navigating.